Hey, Saber.
Hey, Jim.
Congrats on your plaque.
Thank you.
That's really cool. Are you gonna bring it to job interviews and stuff?
Dude, I'm gonna get a chain and wear it around my neck. When I go on my Tinder profile and be like repping it,
You
I'm
should.
gonna.
What you should do is when you're in a job interview, slide your resume and go, "Hold on, it's a little windy in here. I brought a paperweight." Chong.
There's something that can be said though. The fact that you said when you have a job interview, implying that's like YouTube's not a real job. Look at the fact. Like,
Oh, I didn't mean it.
I'm
I didn't mean it
joking.
that way. Sorry.
No, I'm joking, Jim. It's funny because I mentioned it to my dad. I took a picture of the plaque.
Yeah.
I sent it to my text message to my mom, my father, and my older sister. My mom's like, I don't know what it means, but I like your face because I had a picture of my face in it. And she's like, I love you. And I'm like, Mom. And then my older sister's like, that's pretty cool. And then my dad, of course, is like, you know, if every one of those people gave you $10, that'd be $1 million. I'd be like, oh, Dad, always the businessman.
He's got a point, though.
I know.
Ask everybody to give you $10.
It's not that much.
I like when people say that when they're like, if all those people who are consuming your content for free gave you money, I'm like, that doesn't work.
It doesn't work. By the way,
we all have Patreons, so go to our Patreons right now.
Give everybody $1.
Yes.
give
Not
us 10.
everyone, just us three,
Us.
and maybe if you have extra cash, Tom Oliver probably needs something.
He probably.
And
there's
Pan
my
doesn't
mom.
need any. Just remove all of your like.
Whoa, I'm not getting in on.
Yeah.
Guys, hold on 1 second, all right? Hold on.
Okay.
I'm not getting in on that one. You can pledge to more than one Patreon.
Yes, you can.
I mean,
Depending on how much money you have.
Financially, I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
I don't know your budget or you know your job or your finances, but I'm just saying. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's cool. I've never known anyone who has a plaque. I guess Pan has a plaque, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's never mentioned it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he does. Because I think I remember him posting about it once. I don't remember.
I didn't.
I'm actually going to be moving out here soon.
Ooh.
I'm moving to my dad's townhouse. It's extraordinarily promising.
Oh, you get an apartment with the plaque? Is that like an extra rule?
It's actually it's a wild card. There's 17 different options. One, you get a Subway gift card. Another one, you get a townhouse from your dad.
Wait, is this for the subway in New York? That's worthless for you.
I know. What the heck? I'm going to put it on Craigslist. I've been marathoning you, Jim. When I was on my flight back and forth from San Francisco, I downloaded a bunch of the Pizza Party podcast, and I downloaded about 4 or 5 of them, and I'm like, cool. Like Jim is so informative. And I listened to the one with I Hate Everything and Your Movie Sucked. Well, I love it because like I love how like I was telling this to Paleo how you don't get stars in your eyes. Like I feel like you're like I'm Jim. I do my thing. I know lots of stuff about movies, and that's what I do. And I'm like, Jim sounds more knowledgeable than all these other guys combined. And I found one podcast. It was my last flight, or it was my last, because I had a layover. And by the way, I'm not putting the other guys down. They're very knowledgeable too, and they're great to listen to. But I'm addicted to you, Jim.
Oh, thank you. I'm addicted to you as well. I was like, actually, so after I go to work, when I work on Saturdays at the end of the night, I finally get to sit down, and then I either put on a Paleo or a Saber review. But there was no ones I hadn't seen, so I was like, I'll just watch like old ones. I guess that's what I'll do, and that's what I did. I watched an
By the
old
way,
Paleo.
look at what Shifro made. I'll also post it in the chat so people can see.
God bless.
Oh my god.
God bless.
I should.
Well, that should be your new profile picture, dude.
That's pretty, I don't know if my wife would be like, what? Like, let's just take that picture down from our wedding and put this up. It's a good.
You can use this picture for your job interviews. But I was gonna say during the podcast when I was going back and forth, I the last episode I downloaded. So I was flying from Denver, Colorado, back to Atlanta, and I started listening to it. And it was one about them like called like I hate YouTube or something like that, or YouTube sucks or something like that. And they're panting, hey, it's pizza pie, whatever. And he's like, Jim's not here. And I'm like, ah! I was on my phone like down the aisle. I was like, no, I don't want to listen to it now.
Oh wow, sorry. I try not to miss them.
I was like, no,
that was during Christmas when I was like, I'm taking a break. I wasn't on anything for like a good couple weeks.
You balance out pain.
You were staying
cringe.
clean.
You balance this cringe out so hard.
You're staying clean.
There was. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's a fun. The thing is like when you do the bigger ones, everyone. I think more so. I hate everything. There was more like people were like, "Oh man, he's really big," and I felt more comfortable with him. But with Your Movie Sucks, like I was a little nervous because it's like he's like a movie person. I was like, "Oh man, that's my thing. I better hold my own." You know, but you don't want to be too much. You don't want to be a dick. You don't want to be like, if he's like, that movie's good, and go, shut up, it's not good, you're stupid, your face sucks, movie sucks, guy. You can't, you know. So.
No, I never.
It's a difficult line but I hate everything. I was like, oh man, I'd like hang out with that guy. I mean, not that Your Movie Sucks wasn't cool or anything, but I think I hate everything's kind of different from the usual pizza party. So it was kind of. I
agree.
I could just chill with that guy. They both seem cool, but I think I hate everything surprised me the most because he has such a negative persona, I guess.
Yes.
Or angry persona, and like he was like really chill. I think he was drinking tea the whole time. I was like, wow, okay. This is how you get out the negativity.
Yeah.
There's a surprising amount of YouTubers who I think have that grumpy shtick, and then they turn out to be kind of chilled out folks behind the camera. But I want to say, there was a certain part of the podcast where I actually like both laughed out loud on the plane and like cringed internally. And it was something where like somebody said dick something and Pan made a vagina joke, but like he's like, oh shit, what was it? He made an awful pun where he reversed the name dick to vagina or something like that. Yeah. And no one laughed except for him. And I was like, this is why we need Jim. We need Jim to bring him back in. Like it's like I literally I was like you know the Nazgul in Return of the King where he gets stabbed by Eowyn and he starts cringing up like that. That was me on the plane.
I'm so used
Pan
to
being the professional cringe lord.
He owns it though.
I'm so used to it, like I don't even notice it, and then when I listen to it later, I was like, oh, that was oh, okay. Didn't even occur. The weird thing about doing any podcast though is when you do it live, it's such a different experience than re-listening to it. Have you noticed that?
I just oh my god.
Like if you like we'll do this and then I'll hear it while I'm at work. I'll just have it on in the background and I'll be like, I do not remember that way. You know what I mean? But I was like, I was here though. You know? Anyway, we're like, it's 9:00.
I gotta say one last thing real quickly.
I'm probably going to keep all this in.
I just drew a huge correlation to something. Jim, you are Saitama. Let me explain. You're One Punch Man. Let me explain.
I actually, when I saw that, I was like, man, if I could be in a movie, I would totally love to be that guy. But, I wouldn't want to shave my head. But other than that.
Let me explain, though, okay? You are Saitama in the sense that, like, you've got me and Paleo and all these other big YouTubers, and I say you big just kind of loosely, as in like, because I mean, I'm just stating facts. You have a low subscriber count, but my fucking god, you're just so much better than all of us combined. And
I don't know about that, but thank you though.
Yeah. All right. So you want to start it off, Paleo?
Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably keep all that in. But yeah, welcome to the POS Podcast, where we talk about entertainment, movie, cartoons, and whatever we want. Saber, you went to a convention this past weekend.
I did.
How was it?
It was fun. I went to San Francisco. I went to a convention called BabsCon. It was
about Babs Bunny. Sorry.
That's the other Babs con.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I go to that one. I was at first was like they did it without me. Fuck.
Oh, for some reason we said Babs. I thought of Lola Bunny. I'm like, wait a second, I'm messing this up. Babs is the pink one, right?
Yes, from Tiny Toons. Or did I make up somebody?
No, it's Babs, Buster, and Babs.
Anyway,
right?
anyway, sorry.
They're fine. No, I went there. AC Race Bus was there amongst some other friends. Had fun. Got to do some panels. Got to goof off and eat good food and chill out. So it was a good time.
Yeah,
had a good time.
Cool.
You saw Zootopia again.
So was Ace make you see Zootopia, or you saw it by yourself?
No, I went to see it myself. You kidding me? I've seen it. I've already seen it twice. I don't need to see it anymore. But I saw it a thrice time. Race was super adamant about seeing it, so we went to go see it, and I fell asleep during the movie.
He should have bought. You know how they sell those passes for like Batman and Superman? Like if you buy it, you can see it for as many times while it's playing. He should have bought that for Zootopia. He would have made so much. Oh, he wouldn't do that?
No, he wants to give money to it.
Oh my
No,
God.
Jim, I'm not kidding. There was he said
No, I watched it, his box office thing. He mentions that. His box office, by the way, I commented on his thing, but his Zootopia box office thing was actually really good. Because I see a lot of bullshit box office analysis, but that was actually, like, when he brings up the whole Frozen thing, I was like, holy shit. I didn't even think about that. Like, it was very good.
Well, he's an engineer, and he says he'll say himself he's a numbers guy. So he's constantly crunching numbers, and I mean during the last two conventions I've been at with him, one in Chicago, one this past week in San Francisco, he's got his laptop open, looking up the numbers for Zootopia, constantly checking on them. He's obsessed with making sure that this movie does well. So DB, Pony Matt, myself, and Race went to go see a late showing on Saturday night for Zootopia at one of the worst theaters I've ever been to. I mean, I know, I kid you not. Like, it looked nice from the outside. We got inside. I was like, oh my God. Like, it's like stepping on the floor. And I was just out of it. I was so tired. And I was giggly at first with Matt, just laughing at the movie and the trailers and everything. And the movie started, and we're watching it. And I started getting tired. And I looked over, Race, just like, happy watching it. But the just commentating on the actual theater itself, like the screen sucked. The seats, I felt like I was sitting like the Mystery Mobile after it's been left in a dump, like a car lot for the last 20 years. Like all the seats were nasty. And then I fell asleep. Right after they ran into that panther who was shot by the blueberry paintball.
Oh yeah.
And then I fell asleep and I woke up and I heard try everything, and I'm like movie's over. And I was like literally I was flabbergasted. I had no idea what was going on. I thought there was an intermission.
It actually went up in the box office this weekend.
Japan.
Or like in America's box office, it like didn't decline as much. Because I think there wasn't anything really out this weekend, so I think people were like, well, I've
there was
seen
like
Jungle Book.
the Huntsman.
Yeah,
whatever.
Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was gonna, and I was like, Prince died, Purple Rain. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I know, going by my theater, Zootopia's still on the top of the list as far as like the movies and descending names. I'm like, oh, I don't know if that means anything really, but I'm like, it's above Deadpool, it's above everything else, so they're still pushing it.
Yeah, I'm surprised it stuck around so well. But I think a lot of it is word of mouth, and I think the thing that's working for Disney is the similar thing that, like Ace brought up in his video, but I don't think he said it in his video, but the thing with Frozen is nobody really knew what they were getting into until it came out. And I think Zootopia is the same, not as much of an extreme, because we kind of knew Zootopia, but we didn't really know how good it was going to be. And I think that's like shocked people. And like people like a good Disney movie, as cynical as everyone is towards animation, like most people in the world have seen a good Disney movie, and when you tell them like, no, it's a Disney movie, it's really good, and it's about like racism and stuff, people will be like, oh, okay, I'll check. People are open to it, so I think it's not. Same with like Frozen. I knew a lot of people who saw it in like mid-January, so I think the same thing with Zootopia is like until Civil War hits, I think it'll still do pretty well. But after Civil War, you're losing all the kids because every time I've been to a theater and there's kids there, they're all like looking at the Civil War poster, talking about who their favorite character is, and it's like once Civil War hits, all the kids' movies are going down. It's over.
Personally, I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to the day where I can screen cap it 50 times over and just blast AC Ray Special on Twitter, just showing him that declining line, and I'm gonna commission a picture of Judy. A Judy tombstone with little ears coming out of the grave.
It did hit. Wow. That was dark, man. What if he's like, I had a really rough day at work, and then Saber sends me this tweet.
This is your kid for dragging me out to see the movie at 12 o'clock at night.
It hit. I think it hit 900 million worldwide. Zootopia.
Yeah, it did.
You think it'll break $1 billion?
I think it could. I don't know where else. I don't watch the worldwide box office as much as I used to, so I don't know if it has place. Still,
the official numbers haven't really come in for Japan yet. So,
has it opened in China and Japan?
Yeah, it's been out in China, I think.
Oh, okay. Is it? I think it's out everywhere. So it's really, but it's also like it's got good word of mouth, and most of the other summer movies take a while to get out there, so that might help. But I think by the time Angry Birds comes out, it's kind of over.
Yeah.
Regardless of if Angry Birds does well.
that movie, I'm not like as.
I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
That's the perfect way to put it. Yeah, like I'm not doing backflips to go see it, but it's like I'm a little bad.
When we're not doing like a summer movie preview thing are we? Were we doing that?
No.
Okay, well, I think this summer is going to be, literally will be. I know people mention Ratchet and Clank with this, but I don't think they're video game publishers making that, are they?
What?
Ratchet and Clank.
I mean, there's writers from the movie,
but they're not paying for it, right? No, not like how Angry Birds and
so. I'm not sure. Like,
well,
I'll have
anyway,
to look it up. But
that's like a side. No offense to Ratchet and Clank, I'm not being, but if Angry Birds and Warcraft, if one of them or both of them hit, you will see video game movies in development going like crazy in the next 2 years. But if they both bomb or don't do well, it's going to be like 5 years.
Yeah.
It's really going to hit it hard. So I think like but Warcraft is so big, if 10% of people who've ever played Warcraft see that movie, then it'll definitely do well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people played Warcraft?
If only, I mean, let's be honest. Blizzard's a company that would never say or do anything to disturb the loyal subscription fan base to World of Warcraft. All right, they know what they want. They might think they know what they want, the audience, but they don't. We do.
Yeah.
Jim, I'm referencing this time. There's recently Blizzard shut down a private server. Not private, but like there was a fan-made server that was for the old games. It was a legacy server.
I heard about that, yeah.
And then Blizzard shut it down because they threatened to sue it. And it's like, why? Like, you guys, like, they make us legacy servers. And they're like, you might think you want legacy servers, but you really don't. It's like,
well, I don't.
Fuck you, yes, we do.
That's the thing that sucks about some games is like if that server goes down, you can't play it the same way. Like that to me is
there's
like one.
There's this whole video on from LGR, I think, and he links another video about games that require an internet connection that will eventually just go extinct and you can't use them anymore.
That's the thing I worry about on the movie end, just like the fact that there's certain movies now where once Netflix or Amazon or Hulu decide not to carry them, they just don't exist.
They'll probably put them out on DVD or something.
Yeah, but there's, I mean that's with more and more people not buying physical media. there's certain points where movies just a company gets to decide when a movie gets to be seen and when it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's like a big difference from.
I don't know. I feel like we're a long way from that because we still get Northern North on Blu-ray.
No, there's still stuff. I'm saying there's still stuff that is, but with more and more people relying solely on streaming, there will be a point where most of the people who want to watch something cannot because they're not buying physical media. Whereas, like, for me, that's not a problem because anything I like, I'm going to buy on Blu-ray because I know that. But a lot of people don't. And I think it hits them when it hits them in the face, they go, "Oh shit." So it can really suck. I mean, there's some movies like you can't find anywhere, and you'd think they'd be on streaming. So, but YouTube and Vimeo have taken care. Anyway, I'm like diverting, but it is something. The way companies own entertainment now does freak me out a little.
Speaking about companies owning entertainment, let's talk about the Powerpuff Girls reboot again.
We haven't hated on that enough.
No, we have not. And I have the perfect image to post up for it. If it becomes too bothersome, I have a different image that's less disturbing.
Oh God, no! I want to know what this is, but I don't want to know what this is.
Yeah, so there's been another week of the Powerpuff Girls reboot with 5 more episodes, and there's like about a dozen episodes out now, and there's one coming out this weekend, and with each new episode, it just keeps getting worse and worse, and more worse errors. Like, did they just rush this out?
The biggest error of all is that they made the show.
Well, yeah.
I don't think they should have. I mean, it's turning out to be such a disaster, and it's not doing that well, right?
Right, the ratings just keep going down.
I mean, it's so publicly hated. Have you read any review from someone who's actually whose opinion people respect about animation that's been positive? Because I have not seen it. Well, I've read positive reviews from like stupid people who don't know much about animation. But I mean, I just haven't. I think people don't want to. I mean, it's super bad. It's just like not the Powerpuff Girls. It was a bad idea for a reboot. They should have come up with a better idea. But this does make me worried. Are they too into like Teen Titans Go kind of aesthetic? And is that what we're going to get from them now? Cartoon Network?
I don't know because Teen Titans Go was surprisingly good with ratings and like reruns and everything, and that's why they show it so much. But this just isn't. So they might just go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, let's have some different ideas here.
I mean, they might just can it and make a new show.
Yeah, wow, you're breaking up like really hard.
Oh, I am?
Yeah. Saber, can you see him?
No, he's like 7 pixels.
Oh, I see him.
Turn off the camera if you need to, or...
Yeah.
I'll just do that. Oh, sorry.
That's alright. Anyway, Saber, you've recently watched like all the episodes that are out so far with me. What are your thoughts?
They're awful. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where I tell myself that whenever people feel very strongly about something, at least take the time to at least give yourself perspective and consider the other side of the argument. Like with the React stuff, it's like, okay, well, there really isn't much of another side of the argument. I think we're all pretty well established with what we think. And then the same thing with the Powerpuff Girls, where it's like, okay, well, what redeeming traits are there in this show? And I really feel that there aren't that many because, like you said, Paleo, everything this show does, the previous show does 10 times better, if not 100 times better, with having better characters, better villains, better stories, better quality, better voices, better everything. Animation. This show, I mean, the word I would describe it is just lazy. It's a lazy show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this image and use a different image because that other image is so disgusting.
That was the image on your award-winning video.
Yeah.
Award-winning.
Got in the views.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, don't take it away. The views will go away. People are like, I need to see that.
I don't know how they'll react to this image though. It's almost as good. But we'll see in a minute.
It's not award-winning, but I'm sure it's
Yeah.
Congrats on your success in the video, Paleo.
Thank you. Yeah, I've gone up like 5,000 subscribers this past weekend.
Damn, son.
Insane. I told you, you're at 30,000 here soon.
Whoa, okay. See, the difference in these two pictures is that this second one looks like she's taking a poop.
What's happening in this one?
Wait, is she taking a poop? Is that the episode?
No. In the beginning of the episode, like the girls are freaking out about a video game, and that's Buttercup's face.
This would never be seen in the original show, and I know that
they really are bug-eyed freaks.
But like I'm not upset with them adding in things that weren't in the original show. Like, it's, try new stuff. That's fine. But it's so boring. It's this weird, like, the action sucks. The fighting sucks. Whenever there is action, sometimes. They're crapping all over the old characters. Like, guys, did you even watch the old show? And then, once again, with the lazy stuff, it's like, how can some of these errors get past you all? Like, how is this being aired? How is this not being brought back to be fixed?
You know what I don't understand?
Unless they don't care.
I don't understand how, for some of the voice actors, like Jennifer Hale, she's the voice actor for Miss Keen and Sedusa, and I believe she's also Princess Morbucks in the original series. So if they have her on board for Miss Keen and Sedusa, then why aren't they using her for Princess Morbucks?
You said that one of the people voicing Princess Morbucks is a writer?
Yeah.
Maybe they want something more modern for the girls, because all the voices have been changed.
Jennifer Hale has an excellent voice for that character.
It's not the same though. This is all about this is a new wave of entertainment. And have you noticed all the voices that have been changed? They weren't for Mojo Jojo or him or Fuzzy. It was for Princess Morbucks, who has this very similar trait with the other three girls who had their voices changed. They're all little girls.
Yeah.
So it looks like they wanted to just go, hey, let's give all the girls voices that the teenage girls might be like, hey, I sound like that too. Or I don't know. Fuck me, I don't know. What do you think, Jim?
I mean, I think they wanted to do the whole, what's called what was recently, the term was legaquel, basically.
Yeah.
Well, there was like an essay this guy wrote, and it was like basically about saying how like Jurassic World and Force Awakens and Creed, and it's basically like acknowledging what came before you while also doing something new. And this like does too much of that. I think the problem is like it really needed to be its own thing, and like that was the wrong instinct, because like as I've watched like when I watched the not to advertise my channel or something, but like when I watched the various adaptations of Jungle Book I noticed like there were two animated ones, and they were so different I could accept them as being different movies. But like with Powerpuff Girls, it's different, but it's not different enough. It really needed to do a hard left, and they kind of like did a hard left and turned back, and that was kind of it. Like they needed to do like continue like the Thundercats reboot that kind of off Avatar.
Yeah,
like that's what they needed to do. Like something.
And the Thundercats reboot was canceled.
Well, that didn't do well. But at least adaptation-wise, that makes sense. Like you need to understand the best way to adapt your characters, and it's like, sure, it makes sense for Independence Day to have a Legaquel or whatever, but like I don't think it made sense for Powerpuff Girls the way they did it. They needed to understand how to do that, and they clearly, this is not the version for it. But also, I think the biggest thing that's going against it is you have Craig McCracken in the original, you have Gendy Tarkovsky. They're like two of the greats of this era of animation, and who the fuck is working like Powerpuff Girls now? Like it's just not even.
Because apparently, if you look up the creators of this reboot and their previous experience, they've only been like art directors and everything.
Yeah.
They haven't really worked with anything about like as far as like story or what's it? I guess concept design or
Yeah.
concepts for cartoons.
I mean, I think the thing is, like, the original show had really great writing, and I was rewatched it recently, the original, and it's like there's so many good ones where it's like I'm so invested in the story itself and things like that, and just so shocked at how good and crazy and dark it can be. I'm just like, it just feels like a typical 2016 cartoon, and the old one felt like, holy shit, how is this possible? And I don't feel that way with this one at all. It's so lame.
Yeah.
You know what gets me is here. Okay, I looked at my other monitor quickly.
It's the Poochie remake.
Yeah.
I was looking at my other monitor, and I see something about a Camp WWE. It's, I guess the WWE has their own cartoon show now that stars the wrestlers from WWE, and they're like kids or something. And I'm watching a little bit. I'm like, this looks better animated than the Powerpuff Girls, like so much better. The WWE is making better cartoon show than the Powerpuff Girls. I can't believe it.
I think the thing that really gets me so much about this show is that how poor the animation has been.
Yeah, it's lazy.
Like compared to every other show on the network right now has better animation than this new show.
Clarence has better animation.
Yeah.
And freaking Teen Titans Go, and it's embarrassing because like they literally had this on a silver platter, whereas like you guys have one of the best IPs from the 90s, like at your fingertips with great characters and voice actors who are still alive and who are still young and willing to work, and you even have the creators and never mind, we're gonna go in a different direction because we're idiots. Like, it's like, how do you all fuck up this hard? God damn. Speaking of silver platters, I did.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that. Yes, Saber's got the plaque. He's got the $100,000. I mean, not dollars. Subscribers pack. What if they gave you $100,000? That'd be great.
Does it say your name? Oh, it says Saber Spark on the plaque.
Yeah.
With a good hefty bit of space between it, but yeah. I don't know if y'all noticed. It's crooked.
It's crooked?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it is.
And here's the worst part: is they screwed it in crooked. So appropriate. I won't mess with it. And also, there's a Sharpie mark on top of this. Right over here is a Sharpie mark.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, thanks, YouTube. I worked hard for this, right?
Well, when you bring the ladies home, they'll be like, "You have a YouTube award," and we're like, "Yeah, you know, it's just a thing."
And they're like, "Let's look it up." I'm like, "No.
No, don't touch my award. Oh, I just lost all my coolness.
No. I can't. Don't search it. What's funny though is the box it came in. I was looking at the back, and on the back,
they still have it where it's like a whole bunch of like thumbnail things.
they have kids react. I'm like, irony.
Wow.
Because like I got my big old burst from my Fine Bros video, so it's kind of funny that.
Is that ironic or coincidental?
I think I find it ironic in the sense that I don't know. It could be both. I don't know. Is it ironic that like the thing that got me to where I am is also on the box that was delivered?
That's coincidental. It would be ironic if it was something that you hate or something.
Well, it's ironic.
I don't like it.
Oh, well,
It's
yeah, I
ironic.
guess it's both then.
Because they got a flag today as well. Losing 100,000 subscribers.
I didn't hear anything you said.
Sorry, Jim, again.
I said it's ironic because they just got a flag for losing 100,000.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
For losing what?
If the Fine Bros got a flag for losing 100,000.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's made of coal.
Actually, that might be worth something. I bet they're like, let's just put it on the fire. We can't afford heat anymore.
All right. Enough to talk about the reboot. Let's talk about another reboot. Let's talk about the Jungle Book.
Oh, hey, we
Yeah.
haven't. Did we talk about that last time? No.
No.
No, we hadn't talked about it. I
Oh
talked
yeah,
about it
that
with
was.
Saber on the Semi Perfect podcast with him last week, but
Oh, cool.
Jim, I want to hear what you have to think, man. I want to hear. Go ahead.
I mean, I didn't like it. I don't think. I think the whole time I was watching it, I was like, well, what I don't get about these remakes is they want to be different, but they still have to be like the Disney movie, so they're not different at all. It's like they appear to be different. They
yeah, it's like
expect,
what you were just saying with the Powerpuff Girl reboot. It's like they try to be different, but not different enough.
yeah, it's like it is the same thing as it's like the songs in it were the most glaring part because it's like okay, you want to be different and dark, but you have to have the bare necessities. You have to have I want to be like you. It's like it, and those songs feel really weird, and neither of those guys can really nail the songs, which is
I agree.
I mean,
Yeah.
you should hear Christopher Walken's ooh ooh oohs. They're so weird.
Ooh,
Jim, tell me, did you notice the cowbell thing?
I didn't notice. Well, I noticed like he just picked up a cowbell, and I didn't think anything of it. And then when someone brought it up, I was like, oh, "Damn it! How did I not know that?"
Dude, in the theater, I audibly said, "Oh, what the hell!" Like I shouted that out.
I mean,
Like,
I actually like his version of King Louis because it's at least different. Because
until he sings.
he's not doing Louis Prima from the Disney version. He's doing like New York gangster meets. He did some like they did some shots that are of like Marlon Brando from Apocalypse Now. Like that was probably what I wanted from it was to be different and do different things with it, and they like didn't a lot of the time. Like Bill Murray's doing Phil Harris from Baloo. He's doing Baloo, from the original.
Good luck.
Ben Kingsley's doing Bagheera. Like, there's too many characters who do, and the cast sequence. That's the
yeah,
worst
that's
part
a,
of the whole.
what the fuck?
I mean, like, why is?
What ways they had the song in the credits? Why didn't they do the "Trust in Me"? That could have been cool.
Yeah, that could have been cool. You're right.
Because Scarlett Johansson singing that could have worked, but I feel like it's almost like you guys you clickbaited us because that wasn't she was barely in the movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think Ka. The thing about Ka is in the book, the actual Jungle Book, Ka is like a friend and an advisor, and in the Disney movie, he's like not really that at all. And they could have had a lot more fun with that character, but instead it's just in there to be in there. And then they have that whole thing with just the thing with the Joker and Batman from the Tim Burton's Batman, where it's like, you know, Mowgli's dad created Shere Khan, and that created Mowgli being in the jungle. It was like I was like, oh my god, this is everything people hate about movies. Like,
Yeah, it's the whole
how could you
Destiny
do it?
thing.
It's just, or that everyone's connected. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a screenwriting trick, but it's one that like it really doesn't
It
work
becomes
with the
very
jungle.
tiresome.
Yeah, I think they should have just done an exact remake and just done the Jungle Book, done like the party movie that the Disney movie was. Why
Yeah.
do it this way? I don't understand.
There was a cartoon.
Has there ever been a
article-
remake that has been an exact remake?
Of the live action animation stuff?
Yeah, of like
No.
anything.
Oh, exact. Yeah, there's been lots of them that I think have stayed pretty. Well,
Like what?
Oh, like I guess let me in was pretty close to let the right one in. That's kind of its problem. But usually, how they fail is they're too close to it, but they don't stray away enough. Like
Yeah.
Magnificent Seven is an amazing remake of Seven Samurai.
Yeah, and we're
because
getting a
it's like-
remake of that this year.
yeah. Oh, you know how many people I've had to explain that Magnificent Seven is it is itself a remake,
Yeah.
which is like I was like, what the hell? No one knows that that's anyway. I joked on Twitter that the new Magnificent Seven is a remake of A Bug's Life, but in the West, and most people, but because it's the same story, right? I mean,
Yeah,
but I
well,
don't. I really just the problem with those movies is they don't justify their existence. Like I'd like one that is very different and is a completely different version of that story. And the funny thing is most of the time there's some other movie, usually foreign, that did do that tale in a different way. So you can do it other than the Disney thing, but they're too. Disney is obsessed with this thing that Steve Jobs brought to their company called brand deposits, where you basically do something just to remind people how awesome your brand is, and that's what they're there for. But they make
so that's why there's an iPhone every year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. No, that is. I mean, or he believes in like making his stores like it's worth making those stores look that great because it makes the brand look good. Or like Saving Mr. Banks was done for
Mary Poppins.
For the brand of Mary Poppins, and same with like these.
Yeah, and apparently they're going to try to do a sequel to Mary Poppins.
Oh yeah, that. See the casting in that, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't know. I'm curious about Beauty and the Beast, but I'm kind of like getting sick of these things because they just. Oh, like I don't get why people like it. That's the thing I really don't like when I read about.
I don't get it either. Like I really don't get why people like the live action Disney stuff. Because they've had good live action movies, but not based on their animated stuff.
Yeah, I mean they are developing a Black Cauldron series.
They are?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Series?
When was this announced?
It was announced, but they announced it in a weird way, so nobody there were not many places picked it up because it's a book series called like the something of Prim or something like that. And so they announced like Disney bought the rights to the whole book series, and Black Cauldron's like book 2 or something. Someone in the comments of this is going to be like, "What the fuck, Jim?" But yeah, they are planning on doing that book series. But I'm seriously very curious about Pete's Dragon because the actor they picked is not someone they picked for that type of movie. So I'm actually very curious about that one.
Yeah. Though I saw the teaser image for it and it looks really weird.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind like a weird remake. As long as it was good. But I don't love his other movie, but it's like a really weird indie, and it's just like
wait, who's making it?
David Lowery. He's also apparently he did this film called Ain't Them Bodies Saints. I think it wasn't like that big or anything, but he's apparently doing Peter Pan. So Disney likes him. So I'm really curious. So anyway, sorry. What did you want to say about it?
About what?
Jungle Book.
Oh, thing is like. People think I hate the movie, but I
do.
I dislike it. People think that I think it's a bad movie, but I just said it was mediocre. It's not really the same thing as bad.
Well, it's not the same thing as good though.
Yeah, it's not the same thing as good, but it's not bad either. It's mediocre.
Okay.
Which is kind of below average.
What I love is how you had the Jungle Book video before your Powerpuff Girl one. There's almost something poetic about that.
Yeah.
We're like, just like your video because you hate the Jungle Book. It's so fucking good.
And now I'm getting a bunch of comments saying that thank God I'm not the only one who hates this movie.
Yeah. most of my comments were the same actually. That were just like finally somebody. Because most of the public, most like people who don't go to the movies all the time who saw it were like, "What the hell was that? It's so weird." Like nobody seems to get it. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, poor Alec Greer.
I know. As you know, if you like it, it's fine. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. I thought it was lazy. It looked pretty.
Oh, you saw it? I didn't know you saw it.
No, I actually went and saw it like the day it came out. I don't know why. I really wanted to see it, just so I can be like, fine, I can put this behind me. I saw it, and the things I liked about it, I liked how it was pretty, but visually, it's a great film. I thought some of the voice, like I love Bagheera. I thought Bagheera was a great character, and I thought they found someone who really nailed him. If only I could remember that actor's name.
That reminds me, Ben Kingsley.
Yes.
That reminds me. After watching Jungle Book, I think a day or two later, I rewatched Beauty and the Beast, and what they do to Beast's voice in Beauty and the Beast, they should have done to the voices in the Jungle Book, but they didn't.
What did they
Because
do
you
with
know
Beauty
how
and
the,
Beast?
the Beast sounds in Beauty and the Beast. He sounds like deep. He sounds like big.
Yeah.
Where the voices in the Jungle Book don't sound as big. So I don't know why they just didn't do that. How they did it in Beauty and the Beast.
That's a good point, Paleo. Yeah, because you don't get any sense of weight from them.
Yeah.
Whereas like that's even a good point going back to the in the cartoon they actually modeled, and I believe it was the first movie to model characters after their American voice actors in terms of a movie, feature animated film. And in that, like since they embody that voice, it works. But in this, it wasn't modeled off of Bill Murray or Ben Kingsley or any of those guys. So like it doesn't feel as organic, really. It doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
So it feels like false in a way because you're like, well, that's not Bill Murray's not the voice of a bear because he's
Yeah.
Bill Murray. You know, yeah, that's true. They should have either changed it or changed the design, and they didn't do either, which
Yeah.
is crap.
Which is so weird because like they alter the voices for the little mice that show up.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's like, why didn't you do that with the big characters?
I mean, although I also like Idris Elba's character. His performance as Shere Khan was actually different.
Yeah.
And same with the wolf parents who aren't even really in the Disney version or the cartoon.
Yeah.
But that was probably easy because you could do whatever the fuck you want. It's different because they didn't do anything. So I don't know. I don't understand why it's doing so well or such a big hit. So I'm just like, let's just move on. And
Has it passed up Zootopia?
Not in terms of money. I don't think it will.
You don't think so? You really don't think so?
I mean, internationally it might because I know they're really hardcore selling it in India. And if you saw the gross on Life of Pi made shit tons in India. India is a big movie-going populace, but most of the time they don't go to Hollywood stuff. So when Hollywood has more of an Indian lead or something like that, they're more into it. So I think Jungle Book might take advantage of that.
I'm gonna read something to you, okay? And hopefully this person won't have any problem with me reading this out loud. So I got a Tumblr message from somebody called Ask Kinshara. It's like, and they asked me something about how, like, you know, why do you all hate the new Powerpuff Girls? I feel like you all are hating it just because it's fun to hate right now. I said, okay, well, I'm curious. Why do you like it? Like, legit. Tell me, you know, how old are you? Did you watch the original series? And I genuinely want to know what you think. And this is what he says. I'm a 26 male and love the original. I just don't think the modern references and change in casting are a big deal. I suppose I don't compare it as strongly to the original and treat it as its own experience. I do have a theory, though. I think what people are amiss about is that this reboot cannot bring back the feeling from their point in their life. They hyped it up thinking it could restore a childhood state of mind that is 10 plus years gone, and it cannot. I prefer is where a bit. I think he might be continuing his writing. I don't know if that's actually a Tumblr thing or not, but I give him credit. Those are some pretty big shoes to fill, but at the same time, like, God damn it, from a production point of view, you guys really dropped the ball. Like, if there were no animation errors or technical errors, I'd be like, okay, you're just dealing with story stuff. But the animation errors are like a sign of like super laziness, where it's like, guys, if this is an indication of how serious you're taking this, then shame on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not an animation expert, nor am I a story expert.
The thing is, like, I don't think it's completely the people, I guess the animators' fault, because I think it might also be the network's fault for rushing it.
I totally get a huge rush vibe, but they rushed this out as fast as they could.
Yeah.
I really do.
But I don't get why do that.
What was that, Jim? You cut out there?
Like, oh, sorry. I don't get, like, why would you do that? Why would you rush it? Like, why not take your time? This is a big property. No, but, like, you could make more by not rushing it. Like, there's no demand. Like, they're a little too early, honestly, for nostalgia. Like, they had a couple of years still where it might have still, it still would have been big. So I don't understand why push it as much as they did. It really doesn't make a lot of sense unless they just saw a hole in their schedule and wanted to fill it as quickly as possible. Which
The
kind
thing
of
is, like,
seems
they
like
pushed back Steven Universe for this.
What?
really.
Like,
Oh
because
wow.
originally there was supposed to be a Steven bomb at the beginning of April.
What? This is what prevented it? Thanks, Powerpuff Girls. You suck even more now.
At least that's what I read. I'm not sure if it's true.
Oh.
Um. Anyway, let's move on. Any more about Jungle Book?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
We'll talk a little bit about some other things, some smaller things. There was a Jurassic World teaser for the sequel,
There
and it
was?
yeah,
There
it
was?
shows an image that says Jurassic O, and then letters covered um by these ferns or trees or whatever. So it's going to be called Jurassic O something, and the next letter looks like a U.
Wait,
Uh,
where'd you find this teaser?
it was on
Yeah,
Twitter.
I didn't even see. I just heard about the new director. I didn't know about
Yeah.
the
Wait, who's
title.
the new director?
It's the guy who did the movie The Impossible. I forgot. That's what I heard. I thought. Hold on. I hadn't heard about this.
It says some guy
Um,
named J.A. Boyena is the new director.
yeah, yeah. But it comes out 2018, which is 2 years away at this point.
Yeah. But my dad.
What can they be doing though? Like, I mean, honest to God, where do you take it from here?
Well, that's kind of what I'm wondering because I think that was the problem with the other two sequels. Is yeah, I can't even see. No, I'm seeing a poster thing now. It's Jurassic. Oh,
Jurassic Outland?
Yeah, my
maybe.
dad said it probably means Jurassic Outpost.
Oh, that could.
I can kind of. You can't really. The letter next to it looks like it might be you.
Yeah, it
Jurassic
definitely
Out-
looks like a U next to it.
Jurassic Outhouse. Somebody says.
Well, hey, everyone's favorite thing from Jurassic World was
Oh
the
yeah.
Porta-Potts. So maybe I
I
mean,
feel bad for that
curious.
guy.
I'm curious how they're gonna do it and not have a problem that Jurassic, I'm sorry, The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 had, where you're just going back to the abandoned island. Like, I kind of don't want that sequel again because they've done it twice.
What if
So
in theory? What if they go back saying, "Okay, hey guys, we gotta go back and take the islands. Like we've got to domesticate it again," and then they run into a bunch of like problems, and they like the dinosaurs start to escape the island. What would you say to that?
I mean, I think that it would have to be something really different because they've already done one where they've tried to go back and start hunting them. With what was that was part of the Lost World, like people
Yeah.
were there, but they weren't really trying to control the island. And the
Yeah, they were
third
just
one,
trying to take them back to the mainland.
yeah, and the third one was just, and actually both the sequels don't take place on the main island either, do they?
It's hell, you know.
Right?
Yeah,
I
they
don't
don't.
think they did.
They don't take place on Nublar. They take place on Sorna.
So they should maybe not go to those other islands. Like that should not happen. So if this, I mean, unless Jurassic out, if it's Outpost or Outback or whatever it is
Outback.
if
Come
it's
down
like,
the Jurassic Well with all shrimp on the barbie.
well, if it's like the idea for each sequel is there can be a Jurassic World in different countries, like how there's a Euro Disney, and like
um.
a Disney park in Japan and stuff. Like each time they could go to a different country, and Chris Pratt could be there, and it could be
It
a
says
fish out of water story.
this new image comes from the popular Jurassic World Twitter account. While it's an extremely small tease, it promises that something is coming. The theory is that it was a tease where eventual title reveal of Jurassic World followed up, turned out to be wrong. The Twitter has since clarified that it has something to do with a new website.
Oh, lame.
Whoa, one more time. I missed that. One more time.
Apparently, it has something to do with a new website for Jurassic Park stuff, I guess.
Oh,
But the new director is confirmed, and the guy who directed the last one, Jurassic World, is writing the Jurassic World 2.
Okay.
So while he's doing episode 9, if the internet doesn't kill him by that point.
Jurassic Opie.
Maybe
Jurassic Oral.
Maybe it's Jurassic O'Brien, and he's a Irish Irish dinosaur.
Oh my god,
All right.
Somebody has a Tumblr post saying that like since Superman gets his powers from sunlight, science suggests he should have dark skin. And
I've
then
heard
Tumblr's
that.
like,
I've heard that one before. That does make sense.
Interesting.
All right.
Lex Luthor's white bad guys too. All right, go on.
All right. Next thing, there's going to be an Emoji Movie
All right, next thing.
by
yeah.
Sony.
Of course.
Good
And it's
luck
going to
with
take
that.
place entirely inside a smartphone.
So
Wait,
Wreck-It Ralph meets emojis then, or what?
I guess so.
Sucks. I hate everything. There's a great One Punch Man fan animation that was made recently.
Oh yeah, I just saw the whole thing recently.
Yeah, a bunch of animators, and there's one where it has that like in the actual intro, it has that star guy with the smiley face, and Saitama just punches through him, and then somebody reanimated as a fan where it has the emoji guy holding a sign up, and Saitama just punches right through him. I'll have to show it to you, Jim.
Okay.
Not right now, but later.
Okay.
All right. That's pretty much all I wanted to say about that. There's an Emoji Movie coming out apparently next year.
Gotta be with us.
Next up, some other movie news. The Spider-Man standalone movie from Marvel is going to be called Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yes,
Well,
I heard
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Saber doesn't like that.
I'm not sure what it means.
What does it mean?
What I've heard.
Is it a high school thing?
It's like it's like you say that like, what are these high schoolers doing now? It's supposed to be taking place over like homecoming weekend or the week of like homecoming. It's like usually a big football game and a dance and stuff. And so since it's supposed to be more like a teen movie, written like a teen movie, it's supposed to take place over Spider-Man dealing with a villain.
Yeah,
Spider-Man dealing with a villain while dealing with all this teen stuff of like getting a dance for the homecoming stuff, which I've heard is maybe what is going to happen, but since no one really knows yet. So.
Yeah, and also there was rumors that Michael Keaton was going to be a villain.
Yeah.
But then that was disproven, and then something came out saying about Jeff Goldblum being a villain.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Have Jeff Goldblum as a Spider-Man villain.
That would be cool. I think the vibes I'm getting from this will be like my favorite Spider-Man cartoon, which is the Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which I think would be awesome because that is a great show. Like I rewatched a few of those recently. That is such a good show, and that's one thing I think a Spider-Man movie could really use is just like a simple Spider-Man story that takes place in a certain period of time, because that's what the old comics were. I think that'll be, and if Marvel's really has it back, that's the kind of vibe Marvel brings to it. So I think that'll be cool.
And not only that, but apparently there's going to be also in 2018 there's going to be an animated movie.
Yeah, which Lord and Miller are supposedly working on, but I don't know how much.
Yeah. So. Which that would be awesome because we'd have the same writers of the Lego movie working on a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I would. I still think I wish Pixar was making a Spider-Man movie, but if Lord and Miller are doing it, I have faith in that one.
Yeah. Next up, the Doctor Strange trailer.
Oh yes.
Yeah, what do y'all think about that?
Inception.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was very, because Doctor Strange is a really surreal character, but they found a good way to make it surreal, but in a mainstream way. You know, like in an Inception, like everybody knows what that is. So it's not too weird, but it's weird. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm excited. My dad's a big Doctor Strange fan, so I'm actually very excited about this one. I hope they get it to work, but it looks cool and weird, and I'm curious. I like when Marvel does stuff that you're like, is this gonna work? Like that's the cool thing about Marvel.
Yeah, and it usually does.
Yeah, usually does.
I mean, it's worked for Guardians and Ant-Man.
They haven't struck out in a while, so
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time they made something? What, Thor 2?
Thor 2, and that still made money, so...
And that wasn't even that bad,
Yeah.
You know? So, it's been a little bit. I think it'll be cool. I'm excited. It's going to be different though. So.
Apparently, Doctor Strangelove is like one of the most powerful. Doctor Strangelove.
Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah,
Somebody
like,
said that in the comments.
I don't know why I say that. Doctor Strange is one of the most powerful entities in Marvel. Like in the Who Would Win threads, they say like Doctor Strange is on a different level compared to like Hulk, where he can like just obliterate him. And I'm like, damn. What is Doctor Strange's powers? What are his powers?
He has magic, the dark arts.
So he could beat Superman then, in theory.
In theory, but he's like kind of a chill dude, so he wouldn't do that too much, you know. So it should be interesting. I'm curious how they're gonna do this. It should be cool.
Okay, can I throw something at y'all quickly? All right.
Yeah.
Quick side note. So, before I got my flights, I tried loading up a huge comment section for a Who Would Win post so I could read it on the plane because my phone was dying and I tried to conserve whatever. So, the Who Would Win thread was called Halo's universe, StarCraft universe, Mass Effect universe versus the Warhammer universe. And when I was at BabsCon, there was a guy cosplaying in a Space Marine outfit.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he's cool, except it's ponified. Here, I'll find it quickly on my phone. So I can show y'all. Maybe it could... does that show up at all? Can you all see that?
A bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, so I did a little bit of research before meeting him because there was a respect thread on the Space Marine. And I bring all this up to just say how insanely stupid but hilarious the Warhammer universe is. Like, these Space Marines have twice as many organs. They can spit acid. They could eat brains and absorb the memories of people. And I'm like, what the actual hell? Like, these guys, it sounds like a 7-year-old came up with all of this. Like, a Space Marine could kill, one Space Marine could probably kill Master Chief. And people are like, the reason why is because the Space Marine is versing, have you seen the rest of the stuff in Warhammer? It's even worse. And I was reading about it because, like, it's almost, and the reason I bring this up is it gets escalating and escalating and escalating, whereas, like, there's the Emperor of Man, and they sacrifice thousands of lives to him every day to keep him alive, and he's a super powerful psychic who keeps the gods of chaos at bay just by praying about it. I'm sure there's some Warhammer fans who are like, shut up, Saber. But I bring this up to say that then some folks said, like, but yeah, there's another universe called Culture, and those guys could wipe out the Warhammer universe in a nanosecond. And I'm like, what? What? And I read into it, and apparently in the Culture universe, which is a book series or something, these ships, there are these ships that are like the size of whatever. They're huge. And they have like billions, if not trillions of people living on them. And these ships can turn into a weapon, and the battles take place from solar system to solar system.
Damn.
And then there's another one that's even higher above that, where apparently the beings in there are so powerful that they remade the universe just because they were bored. And it's like... Okay. So I bring this up to you all to say, is there a certain point where a universe is so over the top that it's no longer interesting?
I think sometimes stories can do that. Like, was it that Star Wars expanded universe character who's such a powerful Jedi they can like destroy a Star Destroyer with their Jedi powers? Like, I
think Luke can do that.
Maybe. Well, I think there's a certain point where that goes too far, and it's like usually fan fiction pushes it that way, but you can't really have that kind of character. That just ruins it, unless you're trying to say something with it. But if all you're trying to say is like, look how powerful I am, that's super boring,
Well, I feel that's the problem with DC that they ran into, is everything was so powerful, and Marvel isn't. Marvel has weaknesses, and that makes it more interesting. It makes it more like you're a bit more on the edge of your seats. While in Warhammer, it's like, for frick's sake, how are you all this and stupid powerful? This is retarded. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just being honest.
I mean, that is the thing with DC, is like they are way too powerful. And like even the Doomsday Batman versus Superman. It's like he's like too powerful. Like there needs to be. It's hard to relate to somebody who can never get knocked down because most people get knocked down. It's like you have to think about that.
Real quick question, and I'll let y'all continue. The Avengers from the Marvel Cinematic Universe versus Doomsday from Batman versus Superman. Who would win?
Wait, who in the Marvel universe?
The Avengers
from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I think the Avengers would win because they would realize that they would make him more powerful by attacking him, and they would come up with a good teamworky plan to get him out of there.
Because he can't be killed. He has to be like punched away, right? Or killed with kryptonite.
They have to use a kryptonite thing, but what would happen is Stark would go back and come up with something, and
yeah,
they would find a way together. I don't think it would be more than one fight though, but but also they have the Hulk, so.
Do you think the Hulk could hold his own against Doomsday?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think, Paleo?
Yeah.
Who do you think's more intelligent, Tony Stark or Batman?
I think. Well, that's like asking which one of them is more emotionally stable. And I don't think there's a good answer for either. I mean, because they both own. Like Wayne Enterprises is kind of the Stark Enterprise. Is kind of like the Stark Industries. They're both the Marvel and DC version of each other almost. So it's kind of hard. I think. I mean, I couldn't. I think maybe Iron Man, but I also think they kind of do the same thing. So I'm sure you could find out with counterpoint to everything with each of those guys.
Yeah.
I think Tony's more intelligent and raw brain power, like mathematics and sciences, but I think Batman's more clever. That's my take on it.
Batman's better. He's a detective, so he's better at detecting things.
All right, so Doctor Strange trailer, that's coming out in August or September.
No, November.
November. Oh, okay, a lot later than I thought. Oh. But speaking of Benedict Cucumber,
Cumberstanch.
Apparently he's going to be the Grinch next year.
Oh, I heard that.
In Illumination's animated version of The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
I don't know how I feel about doing another
animated
Grinch.
Seuss movie.
Well, like Grinch, like the live action one was how long ago? Like not that long ago.
2001, I think, or 2.
I mean, to me, it's like, why even... I almost understand the Lorax and not that I agree with them, or the Horton Hears a Who, because those didn't have as classic animated versions already, but like the Grinch, like that's Chuck Jones and Boris Karloff. Like, you're not touching that. I don't care who... I mean, like, even if Pixar had that, I'd still be skeptical. Yeah.
Skeptical, yeah.
Yeah, what you said. But it's like, how could you... Why would you even attempt it? I just think it's stupid. Like, I'm sure it'll do fine, but like, who's doing this? Illumination or Blue Sky?
Yeah, Illumination.
Illumination's doing it?
Because they did the Lorax.
Okay. Who did Horton? Was that Blue Sky?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. I think it's actually Sony, which is really weird. Let me see.
But still, I don't know. What do you think, Saber? Are you for it or?
The Grinch. I've never seen the original.
Oh, you
wait, what?
Man.
I know. Ray's told me I should see it because we talked about that on Sunday. He's like, you should totally see it. It's really good.
You haven't seen the original animated Grinch?
No, I've seen the animated one. The Jim Carrey one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I kind of refuse to see that.
I don't really care. Like, I feel like I'm like, oh man, what's with all these Dr. Seuss things getting like live action? And that was a few years back though. But...
Oh, it was Blue Sky that made Horton. Okay.
I mean, I don't get why Illumination did such a terrible job on the Lorax. Why would you want them to go back to that? I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll have to see it.
Because they make the money.
That's... Whoa, you looked at me like, they make the money, Jim. Shut up. Don't fuck
Did you see how much Minions made?
Where did my money?
Up. Anyway, let's talk about how great The Secret Life of Pets is gonna be.
Yeah, and then Sing, which is another world with anthropomorphic animals, just like Zootopia.
Yeah, I think that Secret Life of Pets, people are saying it's going to be huge.
You think so?
I think it looks cute. I mean, the little fluffy white girl dog and a raspy voice.
Oh yeah.
It's adorable.
That's the same voice as the villain from Zootopia.
Yeah.
Yep.
You mean not villain, the character that's in the beginning? Yeah. Anyway.
Spoilers.
What?
Ace is listening to this like, oh my god, you're ruining the box office.
Now you gotta buy 17 tickets. Do y'all want to do Q&A here in a bit?
Yeah, I just want to go over one more thing before you do in Q&A. Let's go over the texting in theaters controversy that happened with AMC.
Take it away, boys. Take it away.
Yeah.
So yeah, AMC came out and said that they were thinking about making texting only or texting friendly theaters in their chains. And then Twitter immediately said, "What the fuck are you thinking?"
Yeah. Though they backed away by the next day, they said they took it back. They said they're not doing it. But it was very quick how the reaction to that, because people were like, "I'm not gonna see a movie in one of those theaters." Like, people were refusing, and it chains of AMC themselves has mentioned they might do this before, so I wasn't too surprised, but I still am like super against that sort of thing, because it's very distracting when someone's like on their phone during the movie. You're like, what the hell, man? Like,
I heard that people I heard that the CEO was apparently somebody new, who said, like, we were just considering it. We didn't say we were going to. That apparently what they said was taken way out of context.
But not really too much out of context, because he said that a 22-year-old like taking away their phone is like chopping off their arm. And it's like, what the
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard lesson to learn, and I'm sure AMC is like, damn it, we just don't say that. But the serve as a reminder that no one wants obnoxious texting people in the theater, because it's like, even if the screen's lights down all the way, it's still like, it's a light. It's gonna attract attention.
Yeah, it's a distraction, and like it actually got me looking at like old like theater I guess info thing. I forgot what they're called. Theater etiquette slides. Yeah, where it's like from like the 20s, where it's like, ladies, please take off your gigantic hats.
No, that used to be a bigger problem.
My hand.
Yeah,
like, take off my hand. Like, can't do this.
That was the bigger thing. That used to be the big thing, but not anymore. Nobody wears big hats anymore.
Yeah, and like back when with silent movies, it says, please read the slide to yourself, not aloud.
Are you serious?
I didn't actually.
That's fantastic.
That's
funny. I can see people going like it says Steven needs to get some food. Well, the thing about silent films is actually most of the people who saw them were illiterate. So if they're reading it, if someone is reading it aloud, I'm sure most of the theater, because you had so many immigrants, especially in cities, then you had so many immigrants who spoke different languages. If someone was reading it aloud, it might have been to translate it for other people. So
yeah,
to clear that up from 80 years ago. I'm sure that there's one viewer who's like, finally, thanks, Jim.
Like 100.
I mean, it's just, I'm not really for. I thought it was like really great that film Twitter, as they say, got so angry about it. But AMC, I mean, it actually kind of turned me off. That, like, I'm not someone who goes like, I'm never going to that company again. But like, I usually go to AMC a little bit more than I have been, just because I've been like, well, I don't know if I want to give them money right now. So I've been sticking to the other theaters.
Yeah,
just because
I don't
of
even
this.
have an AMC that close to me, so I couldn't give them money anyway.
Yeah, you stick it to him, Paleo.
All right. I guess can take a break if you guys need to. And
need
we'll
to
go
get
on
some
to
water.
Q&A. So if you want to ask us questions, our Twitter handles are right there, and we'll answer your questions here on the stream. So just ask us on Twitter, and we will be right back. I'm gonna go get a drink.
I'll be right back too.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to questions. Let's see what we got.
There was one I thought was pretty good.
I have one. And you get yours. I'll get mine.
Okay. Oh, you mean me go first, or you?
Yeah,
go
you go first.
Oh, um, POS podcast fan favorite Alec Greer asks Jim, "What are your thoughts on Kevin Spacey as a cat in Nine Lives?" Now, let me tell you, I'm very excited for Nine
I'm
Lives.
excited for that too.
What is it? What is it?
It's first off, when this is done, you should watch the trailer for Nine Lives. It's about Kevin Spacey is a businessman. This is a real movie. I'm going to say that a lot because you're not going to believe it. He's a businessman who's not spending enough time with his family, but his daughter wants a cat for her birthday, so he goes to a crazy store where Christopher Walken runs it with lots of cats, and they turn him into a cat, and they give he gives Christopher Walken gives his daughter the cat, or gives Kevin Spacey's daughter the cat, and so Kevin Spacey has to prove that he loves his family, or he'll stay as a cat forever.
Oh. We get hit by a car at the end.
This is a real movie, Nine Lives. So I'm excited.
Recently?
It hasn't come out yet, but it is coming out.
Good Lord Almighty! It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Saber, do you have a question?
Let me scan here. Got one from Brian Corbet saying, "Dear POS Podcast, any creepy / awkward fan stories you'd like to share with us?"
I don't really have that many. Anytime anyone comes up to me, it's weird because I don't know about you, but I never like expect it. So at first I'm always like, "Oh, okay, thanks."
Have you been found in real life before?
Yeah, I have.
Really? Where?
Yeah. Like at work and like just around and stuff. But then I'm like very like, because you're not like walking around going like, "Hey, I'm a big YouTube person" or something. You know, you're just like going like, "I gotta go to the store and man, I need to get cat food." And then someone's like, "Jim?" And you're like, "Oh, what? What's going on?" And it's like a really weird shift because suddenly you have to be like ready and like on. And like it usually takes me like a minute for my brain to adjust. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no, that is me. Oh, okay. Yeah." So I guess it's just me being uncomfortable.
They're like, "Is it? And you go, "Hey, it's Jim." And they're like, "Oh my God, it's Sam."
Yeah.
And they're like,
much
and you're like, you can get my autograph if you would like to."
no one's asked for that. I've never done that.
I want to ask your autograph when you show up in Baltimore for BronyCon this year.
I actually would like to. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I need to work that out.
Do it, please do it.
Yeah, if you work it out. But by the way, the tickets are like a lot of money though.
Oh, that might that might not.
If he has a panel with us, his badge is covered.
Can you do that?
Yes, he can.
No, can you do that? As in,
Yeah,
Oh.
I'll pump part of our panel.
All right.
Yeah, Jim, you're good. Don't worry about the badge.
Do you guys get badges for free? I guess you do.
Yeah, if you
if you do
have
a
a panel, you are part. If we do a POS podcast panel, which I don't know why we can't, then Jim, myself, you, and Tom, boom, done.
Ask them about that.
Why? I mean, I'll double check. I'm almost like 99% sure we're good because it's what they did last year. I mean, I remember we gave a badge to Tom for that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we're good.
That was the riffing panel, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, which he wasn't really on.
Well, no, but if we do a podcast panel, then yeah.
Yeah, you're good. I can almost stake my life on. I'll stake other people's lives on.
Okay, I need to work this out then. I need to work this out.
Absolutely.
If not, Saber will pay for your badge.
You're the one getting all the big YouTube money as of late, Paley. You pay for it.
What about your YouTube money from earlier?
I spent it on chocolate, Paleo.
You just got it today. You're like, you went to the pawn shop. You're like, how much chocolate can I get for this?
They're like, this plaque. You like Twix? Yes. Yeah, Twix bar.
You're like, if I cross it out and write PewDiePie, how much chocolate can I get? And go,
yeah.
Well, in that
talk about a relic. Awkward fan stories. There was a good one where we were at MSP. I think it was the first year we were at MSP.
Yeah, it was the first MSP.
And my friend AC Race Best, we finished a panel where we had this really interesting person asking us questions and calling us by our first name. At the end of the panel, we usually kind of mingle around and just talk to the people in the audience. And the same fellow walked up to Jeffrey, to Race, and said, "Hey, can I have a hug?" And usually if someone asks for a hug, we give him a hug. And Race's like, "Sure." So he obliged. And he gives the guy a hug, and the guy's hugging him pretty tightly. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy lays a big old wet kiss on Race's neck. And Race is the kind of guy where he won't stand for this, but he won't like get violent either. He was kind of in shock at like, oh my God, that just happened. And I could hear the kiss. Like, I was like within like 3 feet. And I just hear this big old wet kiss. And then we all, Race, myself, Paleo, Jay Holler, and B-Vids, we all had a hasty retreat back to our room because the guy was following us.
Oh.
And it was creepy. And then we got to our room, and apparently the guy thought we stole his Sharpie, to which then our friend B-Vids took a Sharpie and threw it out the window. Out the door. Just so you can like, get rid of him. We threw it out the door, and the guy...
I mean, well, in fairness to this guy, was it like a really good Sharpie?
I don't know. It wasn't his though. It was Jay Holler's, but he took it anyway. So.
It wasn't like a gold. Like if it was a good Sharpie, I'd semi be on his side with this story. But if it's just a normal Sharpie, that's crazy.
I'm quite certain it was ours though. This guy was a lunatic. I mean,
that's even worse. But if it was a nice Sharpie, I would try to steal that Sharpie. So,
yeah, he was actually banned from going to the convention the next year.
Oh,
to which then he tried to apply under the name Emily, and people found out, and he got caught, and now we all call him Emily.
Jeez.
All right, question from you guys.
I got a question from Ozzyall. Congratulations, Paleo, that you got 20,000 subscribers. What are you going to do on your subscriber special? Well, I was going to do like a quick video just saying thanks for 20,000, but whatever, because it hasn't slowed down yet. So I'm gonna wait until it hits 25,000, and I'm going to do my top 25 favorite animated movies.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna do that because that's what I've been planning to do whenever I hit 25,000. But it's hit. It's probably gonna hit a lot sooner than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, you're
cool.
Ride that wave, son.
You should do top 25. Top 25. Hold on, sorry. Top 20. I'm trying to.
I want to know
this.
now. Go on,
I have this idea in my brain, but expressing it's not so good right now. Top 25 videos people made once they had 25,000 subscribers.
Oh my god!
And number 6 will shock you.
Yeah.
That's my new thing is coming up with the weirdest lists possible. And one of these days I'm going to make one. That's what I'll do if I get that far.
You will. All right. Any other questions? Here we go. U.S. questions from Zane Power saying, is there a difference between between have characters be connected by past, unlike it was in I'm not really sure what you're saying, Zay.
A difference between having characters that are connected by the past, unlike it was in the Jungle Book. What?
I still understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand what they're trying to ask, but I think they're asking something about how, like, in the Jungle Book, they're the characters are supposed to be connected in some way, where in the original they weren't really that connected.
No, they weren't at all.
Yeah.
Well, here's a good one here. It's from VHS. He says, what would you guys want out of a crossover between Cartoon Network cartoons and Nicktoons if it ever happened?
I don't think it would.
But if it did...
I mean...
like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit for television cartoon shows.
I wouldn't mind... I don't know if it could work as well. Well, okay, it's if it did, I'll stop saying it won't happen. I wouldn't mind a regular show like SpongeBob and Patrick kind of thing. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron meets Time Squad.
I thought it would be Jimmy Neutron meets Dexter.
Oh, Dexter would wipe the floor with him.
Yeah.
Wipe the floor. Jimmy Neutron actually was a who would win question about that. Who would win? Dexter versus Jimmy Neutron. They're like, like Jimmy Neutron builds like a rocket ship out of like bubble gum while Dexter's building like a Pacific Rim sized machine that can fight like an axe monster. It's like, come on. Like that's I mean, credit Jimmy Neutron. He's done some things where it's like a little shrinky dinky device. It's like, well, that's pretty powerful. But Dexter can time travel. That's pretty powerful too. But I think so can Jimmy Neutron. Whatever. That'd be an interesting one. But like legit talk, they would, if they ever did it, they would want to do it with shows that are like considered like their most popular. So Jim's absolutely right. SpongeBob with regular show could work because if they break the fourth wall enough, it could work.
Or I could see Sanjay and Craig and Gumball and Darwin.
Oh.
Which, by the way, Gumball doesn't get talked about enough.
What's up? It doesn't.
That's actually another question. It says any current cartoons that you think deserve more attention, and yeah, definitely Gumball.
How long has it been going for?
It's on its fourth season now.
Consistent. Gumball's kind of like where regular show was before the movie happened, where people were like, "Why is no one paying attention to the show as much as they should?" And I think regular show, people started paying more attention to around the movie. But I think Gumball, it's like, I don't know why people like the one where they ran out of money is honestly one of my favorite
really
cartoons
great.
I've seen in a while. That's a really good, really smart concept. Yeah,
that was smart.
I mean, it was like, how are they doing? It was just so good. Anyway, sorry. It's a great episode.
Timmy Wiltshire asks, what is the best Western cartoon that is not inspired by anime, e.g. no Teen Titans, Avatar, Samurai Jack? It's funny that he asked that because a lot of anime originally was inspired by Western animation.
Yes.
So it's really weird that we're going full circle.
Well, that's kind of how the Japan American influence works, because it's like samurai movies were influenced by Westerns, and then Westerns ended up getting influenced by samurai movies. Yeah. And it's kind of been this back and forth. So that's like very natural between America and Japan. It's like always been that way. Yeah, except for Godzilla movies.
One thing I saw was isn't Ghost in the Shell pretty much really inspired by Blade Runner?
Yeah, to a certain degree, yeah. I mean, it's not as close as other things, but the idea is, yeah, it is. I would say so. So even though Aziel's asked a question, I thought this is something we should at least talk about. Thoughts on Steven Universe coming back in May rather than June?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited
to see what happens.
Steven Universe is it's all over the place with its release dates. So like, I take what I can get when it shows up, and I want to see Peridot and Lapis, two best girls talking. Go ahead.
It's been too long. It's like I'm starting to miss. But there was a good. I need to reblog it at some point. Article on the AV Club about how the secret to its success is that we have to these big Steven bombs, and how that hypes up the show and gets people super excited, and how without those things the show wouldn't be as big as it is. And it was really interesting. As much as fans hate having to wait, like when was the last one? January? Was it?
January.
Well,
Yeah,
that was
as much
and
as-
that ended on a good note too, or it was exciting. See where it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really weird because like the first Steven Bomb is what really jump started all these new people coming into the show, because me and Saber watched the show even before like all these other freaking posers. Anyway.
I saw it. I remember seeing the first episode, and I was like super pumped about it because it looked fun, it looked different, and his name was Steven, even though he spelled with a V. And I'm like, I like that. He actually reminds me a lot of myself when I was a kid. So I'm just hoping, praying that Lapis joins the gyms. Like I want her to be a gym so badly. It'd be so cool if Yellow Diamond shows up to Earth and discovers that all of these evil gyms are now good gyms. Even Jasper, maybe, who can be like a Vegeta type.
Isn't she a gem though at this point?
Well, it's a gem, but I mean like one of the crystal gems. I'm sorry.
No, I mean like I feel like she's part of the group at this point.
I wouldn't say so. No, I wouldn't
Oh,
say
I'm
so.
sorry. Are we talking about Lapis?
Yeah, we're talking about Lapis, not
Peridot is. I hope she doesn't
Oh.
die. If
Yeah, no,
they
Lapis-
kill anybody, I'm gonna be pissed. In a very accepting way.
Yeah.
Well, who's your favorite gem? Who's your favorite gem?
Oh,
We are the Crystal Gem.
probably. Oh boy.
Somebody make that.
Probably. Trust me, someone's already halfway there.
Yeah.
Probably Garnet, because I actually re-listened to the song, the spaceship, the one. God, that is a really good episode. The one on the spaceship where she sings
What,
that
Jailbreak?
song. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I went through a period of like that was my test media for this theater, and I was just like, it's just so good. It was just basically like reason for me to sit down and just enjoy this episode, because it is just so well done, and it's like so quick, but it's like that song's really good, and it's like really emotional because it's the like the Garnet's fused back together, and she's
Catchy.
like, it's catchy, and she's like defend. She's like, you might think we're like freaks or something, but this is like you won't defeat us, and it was like really defiant and really beautiful, and it's an awesome fight and all that stuff. Sorry, anyway, but I rewatched it like I rewatched it today, and I was just like, man, that was like my favorite thing of that show. I don't think that show's ever gotten as good as that episode. I mean, I still like it a lot, but that episode is such a high, Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
By the way, I need to be somewhere in 5 minutes. Is it cool? I know it sounds bad. But something just shut up on my phone. I might have to pop out here in 5 minutes, unless you guys want to end it in 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm just. Somebody came
Okay.
up.
Yeah, we can do one last question. And I think this one's an interesting one. From Goose, who in the animation industry do you look up to the most?
That's tough. Alive or dead or both?
It used to be.
Let's say alive.
Okay.
Well, it used to be Brad Bird, but Tomorrowland kind of messed that up for me. So it might be Pete Docter, just because I think because I like that attitude of I'm going to make this big important thing, but I don't really care about the industry. I don't care if people know who I am, but I care about making awesome stuff. And like he never left Pixar. He stayed to make this cool movie. I think artistically at least I look up to him because it's like he exists on his own wavelength and doesn't care about it, and I really admire that.
Speaking of Pixar, I'd say probably John Lasseter, because as far as like he pretty much saved Disney animation.
Yep.
He did.
Like when he came into their studio and just fixed everything. So yeah, John Lasseter is definitely a big one.
Yeah, I'm stuck between a couple of folks because at first I thought Lauren Fallis. And I love Lauren, but
Craig McCracken.
there's Craig, there's Gendy. like could lean towards Miyazaki. I mean, the craftsmanship in those movies are outstanding. They're on a different level compared to other animation, where it's like you see how much goes into this.
Oh yeah, that reminds me, Tom Moore. I really like Tom Moore of Secret of Kells and Song of the Sea.
Oh
That's
yeah,
true.
dude. Oh, man. Not only great animation, but great stories. Like make me cry. Shit. I think I'd have to see Miyazaki just because of Spirited Away. Like that movie like hit me on a level like that no other movie really ever had. Because it's so I could watch that movie over and over and over and over, and I just keep watching it. It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my answer.
All right. Are we done?
And I'm sorry if I'm ending this early.
No, that's fine.
I'm a douche. I'm a douche.
All right. So we'll see you guys next. Wait. Yeah, a couple weeks from now.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, unless you guys want to do one next week, so we'll be back on schedule.
Oh, I don't.
In between Pizza Party.
Oh yeah. I honestly would like to get back on the schedule, but I don't know if I can do it 2 weeks in a row. That's the problem.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we'll do it 2 weeks from now because that's when Civil War comes out. So we can talk about Civil War.
At some point, we'll get back on the old schedule.
Yeah, at some point, but just not now.
Sorry.
All right. So yeah, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for coming out. We'll see ya. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Peace out. See, I put the video back on just at the end.
Yeah.